Are dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Welcome to Dreaming Healing, everyone. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but hey, my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. We are going to have an absolutely incredible program for you tonight because we're going to be talking about how to find your tribe in the Dreamy InsteadTalk. Yeah, you heard me right, InsteadTalk. So we're going to be talking about what those are, how they work, and we're going to be speaking with Dennis Pitocco, who is the founder and CEO of Biz Catalyst 360, because this is his baby. But one of the things I love about this InsteadTalk that we're going to be talking about is how you can find your tribe. We all belong to different tribes, believe it or not. We're not, we do not like being alone. Some of us do to a degree, but there are really very few true hermits that just want to go and live in a cave and never see anybody, never talk to anyone. In fact, I think we saw during COVID that that is not human nature. That is not human nature at all. And so Dennis is going to be talking to us about how we can find our tribe. Because in the hierarchy of developing ourselves, our inner selves, and our outer self, a tribe is very important. It's number 3 on the scale of developing your mind, body, and spirit. Number 3. That's how important it is. So we're going to be shifting. We're going to be talking about making the shift from over-rehearsed stage monologues to genuine interactive conversations. Yep, you heard me right. Not conversations, conversations. So for those of you who are just listening to me, maybe you're listening to me on your laptop, in your car, you get it plugged in, you get it turned on, you're driving, and you'd like to see me again later, you can go to 2 websites. You can either go to my personal website, which is KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's a big mouthful. It's KathleenO'Keefe as in Victor, O-S as in Sam. Or you can just search Kat, K-A-T, the Queen of Dreams, and I will come up in the search. And my website will come up in the search. And you can click on that. And this is an interactive show, a video podcast. So you can see me and not just listen to me, and you can see our guest tonight. And I will be giving you all of his information or a shorter version of it. But if you'd like to know more about him and have hot links to get to his information, you can go to my second website on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. And to get there, again, you can go to my website, Kat, the Queen of Dreams. When my website comes up, you'll see black buttons at the top of it. And you look for the one that says podcast, radio podcast. Click on that. and it will take you right to my website page on Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. And you'll scroll down and you'll see a poster with Dennis Pitocco's picture on it and his bio with all the hot links to Biz Catalyst 360, 360 Nation, 360 Nation Studios, 360 Nation Events, Good Works 360. All of them are hot. You just click on them and they'll take you there. Okay? But before we really jump into all of this, I think we should do our meditation. I mean, it really helps me, and I'm hoping it helps you get grounded, relaxed, and in touch again with your inner self and outer nature. Because when we become one with both of those, we're fulfilled. All right? So for those of you who are new, just follow my directions. You'll get it just like that. Those of you driving in the car right now and listening, do not close your eyes. This will still work. And you can always go back and find the video podcast and watch me doing this when you're safely in your home. Okay? All right. So let's get comfy in our seat. Imagine yourself just sinking into your chair. You're just relaxing so much. Your shoulders are relaxing. Your neck muscles are relaxing. You feel yourself just sinking into the chair. Your legs are feeling heavy. And you're just so grounded. I want you to imagine that you are just in your special quiet place. No matter where you are now in your special quiet place. And I want you to focus on your breath. Take a deep breath in. Fill up your lungs and hold it. Imagine any negativity from the week getting into that breath of air, and I want you to blow it out as hard as you can across the room. See it going into the purple flame of Saint Germain. It's just whoosh into that flame where it's converted into beautiful golden light. And that light is returned to the universe. See it going up past the stars, past the planets, up bouncing off those pearly gates, making a U-turn, and at the speed of thought, flowing down into your 7th chakra, your crown chakra, and filling your whole body with warm, tingling light, healing golden light. From your toes up to your nose, and from your nose back down to your toes. Again, deep breath in. Imagine any negativity that you may have done this week, caught in that breath of life that you know about. Blow it out. Gone, gone. Into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where we see it going back up again, through the planets and the stars to the pearly gates, bouncing off those gates and coming right back down at the speed of thought into our 7th chakra and filling our whole body with tingling, warm light. One more time. Deep breath in. Imagine anything from your childhood that is negative that's been staying with you, caught in that breath of life. Blow it out. It's gone into the purple flame of Saint Germain. See it turned into golden light, beautiful light, returning it to the universe, up to those pearly gates, and turning and coming back into you as perfect golden healing light, filling your whole body. Feel your body tingling. with beautiful light. Now, I want you to imagine holding a power gift in your hand, which is anything that gives you power from love, because love is the strongest power in the universe. It can be a piece of jewelry given to you by someone you love. It can be your favorite flower, your favorite stone, a favorite memory. Hold it in your hand and swing it all around your body. Imagine it creating a mirrored bubble of protection around you, all the way around you, filled with that beautiful golden light. You can feel the light on the inside of you and on the outside of you. Only that which is of the highest and best, brought by your spirit guides and guardian angels, may come into that bubble. Everything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, open up your eyes. Until then, you can just listen to me. Sometimes it's a little hard to bring ourselves back into our body, up out of that meditation. If you're finding that so, put your hands together in the prayer position and push. Those are all the pressure points for your whole body. Just push 3 times and you'll feel yourself coming back into yourself. And you can just listen to me tell you a little bit about our guest tonight. How do we pivot from monologue to dialogue and instead talk to conversations? Well, Biz Catalyst 360 founder and CEO Dennis Pitocco is here with us tonight to explain, and you might be shocked by the simple yet profound difference. Let me tell you a little bit about Dennis, because he's an amazing man. Known him for quite a while now, many, many years. Dennis and his wife, Allie, lead 360 Nation, a global media platform dedicated to uplifting humanity. As founder and CEO, Dennis oversees 4 key ventures. Biz Catalyst 360, an award-winning global media platform supporting the best writers on the planet. 360 Nation Studios, producing compassionate streaming content. 360 Nation Events, hosting humanity-driven virtual and in-person experiences. And GoodWorks 360, offering pro bono counseling for nonprofits worldwide. For over a decade, the couple has focused on showcasing humanity's best aspects and driving positive change. The couple have co-authored Rites of Passage, Across the Landscape of Our Souls. And Dennis is a contributing author to numerous best-selling books and the co-author of the Amazon bestseller, Unsheltered. None of us are home until all of us are home. And as I said earlier, all of these links, the links to his books, the links to his pro bono work, all of that is on my website page for BizCat 360, and the links are hot. So if you want to, you can just go there and click on those links, and it'll take you right to Biz Catalyst 360. It'll take you to all of his works, and it'll also take you to the Instead Talks to get your free ticket, which we're going to talk about during this interview. So welcome to the show, Dennis Pitocco.
My goodness, what an introduction. I'm so excited. I'm going to click on all the links. But, thank you for such a thoughtful introduction. And something you mentioned, which I just want to come back to, you mentioned all the different things we're doing. And I think you of all people know that you mentioned pro bono. Everything we do for good. There is no advertising, there's no fundraising. We give it away for free because we, as they say, you get more than you give, and it has come full circle over the past decade. It also gives us the freedom to do new and different things because we're not leaning in one direction or another because of our sponsors. We don't have sponsors. So it's it's a responsibility, but we're just enjoying it everywhere along the way. But thanks for the introduction, Kat.
Oh, you're so welcome. And we've been working together for quite a while. I'm one of the writers in the columns in Biz Catalyst 360, and my audience probably see me on all the different platforms where I take whatever articles I write for Biz Catalyst 360, Living Your Dreams, and I post them all over social media. So I know you've probably seen them on Medium and Facebook and Twitter and all those different places. And all of our authors who are on that Biz Catalyst 360 platform are amazing writers. They are amazing because, Dennis, you encouraged all of us from the very beginning to go into that place within ourselves where often we dare not go because it's so emotional. And we bring that emotion up and we share it with the world. And when we do that, when we dare to do that, which is kind of scary, we find there are other people out there who read these good works and they say, oh, I'm not alone. Me too. And suddenly you are finding your tribe. So and that's also something else we're going to be talking about today, Dennis, you and I, that the importance of this tribe. So how can we pivot from monologue to dialogue? And what do you see as the difference?
Well, I'm going to back up a minute. Something you mentioned, which is so powerful. The reason we've grown on the media side, the publishing side, from 0 to over 1,200 writers on 6 continents, and the reason we won 3 awards is we're able to say to people like you, Kat, when you first came to us years ago, right from your heart. Just tell your own stories and break all the boundaries, whether it's 100 words, whether it's 2,000 words, whether it's poetry, whatever it is that is speaking to you, speak to our audience. And I cannot tell you how many writers who felt like we were taking off the handcuffs finally, because many of them were used to writing for Forbes or Huffington Post or other places where they enjoyed writing, but there were so many rules, they were tripping over that. And I think what I've heard from many writers is that starts to work against your inspiration, your creativity, because now you're on deadline versus writing when you're inspired to write because something just came to you. So thanks for that. I want to just give the Biz Catalyst side of Operation credit for creating the tribe that we were speaking about, because with all those writers came a lot of followers and came a growing network. And as you know, we're just about everywhere now. I'm just so pleased that when you started this discussion, you started not with InsteadTalks, but with Tribe, because it all connects. And finding your tribe, there's an article. I don't write very often, but once in a while I do, because I've learned that we can't just do what we do. Sometimes we have to define what we do a little better. And it was specifically about finding your tribe. There's something that a lady, Amy Poehler, said many years ago that I just latched onto, and she said, find a group of people who challenge and inspire you, spend a lot of time with them, and it's going to change your life. And that is exactly what we've been witnessing. They say, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I think that's probably true because many of us who live on social media, we mistake social media connections for real relationships. And that's just not the case. We're moving quick, we're clicking on likes, but are we taking the time to dive deep and develop those relationships? And when you do that, you move like we have with our writers, like you and I, Kat, we move from a writer relationship to a friend relationship. And then here comes the relationship. And it starts making you evolve, your mindset shifts, your skills get better, your confidence goes up. You feel this collective energy of the people around you. And people have said to Allie, my wife, and I meant for many years, why do you do what you do? And I give them a lot of reasons, because if there's nothing in it for us from a economic perspective, the motivation has just been about developing relationships. And we travel the world, as you know, Kat, and we have developed so many relationships that anywhere we go, there's a member of our tribe there somewhere. And we find them and we spend time with them because we also know that I feel like sometimes everybody's got Zoom fatigue, where it's much easier. If you and I, Kat, lived 5 miles from each other, would we just go on Zoom or would we get in a car and go have a coffee together? I don't know these days because people, it's too easy sometimes. So we try to break those rules by getting out and doing those handshakes and doing those hugs. Now that connects with InsteadTalks because one of the things we noticed, let me give you the background in InsteadTalks that might connect the dots even better. About a little over 2 years ago, I was talking to a very good friend of mine, and she is an internationally recognized speaker. This is the kind of lady that can walk into a room, Kat, and just start speaking. She knows her stuff. And she was struggling with something. And I said, her name was Melissa. I said, Melissa, what is it that you're trying? You seem to be distracted. And she said, well, I've been putting together a TED Talk for about 8 months now, and I know my content because she speaks so well, but she said, I've got all these guidelines and, I've got to keep it to 18 minutes and I've got the, and she said, I'm starting to feel like it's more about the style than it is about the substance of what I'm saying. And I said, that's an interesting thought. Talk to me about the guidelines. So she sent me 13 pages of guidelines. And I turned to my wife, Kat, and I said to Allie, I said, we can do something with this. And again, back to the fact that we do everything good. We do everything in-house. So we don't have to go out to somebody and say, here's an idea. Can you develop that? Well, we do it ourselves. 2 weeks later is when we launched InsteadTalks, but we were inspired by all the bureaucracy. Just like with our writers, we said, we're going to take away all the boundaries. So we said, we love what TED does, and we've been following TED for years. We actually publish TED Talks for different people. So we don't have an issue with TED itself. We think it spreads a lot of good information out there. But we said, we're going to do two things that I'm surprised TED hasn't done over the years. We're going to take away all the bureaucracy. So if you come to us to become an orator, as we call them, not a speaker, we've taken away all that stuff, those 13 pages, and say, Kat, if you want to do an InsteadTalk, and I know you got one coming up, speak from your heart, talk to the people in the room. So we bolted on an audience. It's all virtual. So when Kat does her InsteadTalk later this month, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's on the 26th.
That's right. It's not just Kat standing on a TED stage with a PowerPoint and all this stuff. It's Kat who could be sitting in her kitchen, as far as we're concerned, and just delivering her message. So it's a 45-minute session. Only 15 minutes are allocated to Kat. Why? Because we want the other 30 minutes to all the speakers. They're going to be tuning in from around the world, and these people are going to be able to talk to Kat about what she said. We've done 9 events so far. We've had 54 orators. We've got 4 more coming up. I mean, and we have a waiting list for people that want to talk. Why? Because they like the idea of interacting with the audience. Because Kat may.
Dennis, hold on. We've got to take a break, and I want to answer that why when we come back, because that's going to keep them hanging. So you're going to have to hang on there, everybody, till we come back to find out why. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times best-selling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through Mayhem to Miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
Did you know that every word you speak matters? What you say and how you say it can make or break a relationship or shift the outcome of any situation. Are your conversations making a difference? Faith in God, gratitude, authenticity, and giving are Teresa Velarde's heart. It's in this spirit that she's focused on making a difference in the lives she's blessed to touch. Conversations That Make a Difference is now on syndicated Dreamvision 7 radio network every Tuesday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with live call-in shows every first and third Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, to our second part of this show. I mean, this show goes so fast. And of course, we could just all listen to Dennis all night long because he's just so interesting. And just before the break, he was going to tell us why. That was a cliffhanger. Why? So, Dennis, I'm going to step aside and let you take it over again, because I know you can answer the why with more than just because.
The why so many people have come to us from around the world. When I say around the world, I'm talking about over a dozen countries as far away as Australia, Zambia, South Africa, Japan. And I want to talk about a guy that called me from Vietnam about a year ago and his why. But the primary difference is you as the speaker or the orator, Kat, not only get to deliver your powerful message, but you get to get immediate feedback from the audience. So they're doing something they crave to do when they watch a TED Talk. They want to talk to the person, but they can't. And the TED Talk speaker, as many of them are, they want to get the feedback from the audience because it might change their thinking on something they said, and they may modify their next talk somewhere. So the why is that personal interaction with a tribe that begins to develop, because then they start to follow you. The guy from Vietnam, this is right after we launched this thing, I got a Zoom call with a gentleman that was just desperate to talk to me. And we finally got on a Zoom call and he said, Dennis, do you have any idea what you just did? I said, well, I'll check my list, but I think we launched something that will give people more of a voice. He said, that's it. He said, I've been in Vietnam for years. I'm a great speaker, but I don't have access to TED Talks, which means I can do one, but I've got to fly, 300 miles away to get to a stage, and it costs money and I can't afford it. I have to leave my family. He said, I can now sit in my kitchen and I can get my voice out there. And it never dawned on Allie and I, Kat, that we were opening the doors for not just conversations, as we call them, back and forth, but access, more voices from more places. And I think that's why we've got so many countries kicking into this thing. So I'd like to say we were brilliant. I'd like to tell you we thought this would happen. We didn't know what would happen. And we didn't want to come across as just throwing stones at TED, because we like TED. But that ability to go back and forth with somebody and dig deeper is just remarkable.
Yes, and the TED Talks, because I guess they have so many people and applicants or whatever, they have a very, very strict
Yes.
Policy on what you can do. And I know that Dr. Larry Burke, we're co-authors of Dreams That Can Save Your Life. They took his TED Talk down because although we had won so many awards on our book and it was groundbreaking, at the time he did the TED Talk, the medical community was not tuned into believing that your dreams can help diagnose an illness so that you can go and get help and live. So they've taken his TED Talk down. Yeah, and that broke my heart because it made me realize that there would be so many people who then would not be able to trust in what their dreams were telling them, their spirit guides and guardian angels that would help save their life. But,
Wow.
maybe someday that will change. But my point is, you're not doing that. You're saying if you've got a message, come to us, get that message out the way you want to get it out. The only limit we're going to give you is you can't just, keep going and then boom, you're done. You have to engage. And I think that's really important, which you don't really do in the TED Talks. You don't engage like that in the TED Talks. You're up there on the stage and you're walking back and forth and doing whatever. But with your talks, with the Instead Talks, and you have a certain amount of time to talk, however you want to talk, whatever you want to say, whatever your message is. And then comes a part that I think, Dennis, a lot of the orators get really, really nervous about. And that's the interaction, because they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being judged by the people who are listening and might ask a question. They're afraid that they might not believe them or want to hear them or will challenge them. And so what they don't seem to realize, Dennis, is you are giving them the opportunity to connect with their tribe. Their tribe's not necessarily going to challenge them. Their tribe is going to say, she went through that too, or he understood that too. He felt that too. Let me make sure that really happened. And they ask a follow-up question in order to ingrain themselves in that tribe even more. And I think belonging to that tribe, finding that tribe in Vietnam, in Spain, in Barcelona, wherever it is, it's important because through your Instead Talks, we're able to connect with our tribe all over the world, not just in our little town. And
That's
so
right.
I think those Instead Talks are so important. So could you possibly talk a little bit about them being a catalyst for personal development, the speakers or the orators' personal development, and the audiences?
Well, yes, what we've said to our orators is we're going to take away all those bureaucratic guidelines that you may have seen at TED, and we're going to ask you to have we call it a conversation. Approach this as though you're going to sit down and have coffee with Kat. And you're going to be talking with Kat and some of her friends. That's how casual. We don't want a stage. We don't want a PowerPoint, and we don't want a business presentation. And people said, well, I'm in business. Well, I said, our message to them is this. Look, if you are delivering a message to the audience and it's about personal development can be defined a lot of different ways. There was a talk that a lady named Ann gave last month, and it was called Yes, Show Up and Be Present for Your Life. Now, that's a pretty broad topic, but her message, she walked through her own life story in a very prepared time. She defined what she meant by that. But the nice thing about that is she gave the people in the audience some advice on, and if you want to do this, here's how you can start changing your life tomorrow. Now, that also, if you change your life, guess what? That's going to ripple into your business world. No matter what you're doing for a living, you're going to become a different kind of a person. You're going to be more present with your clients. So time after time, these talks, we encourage personal development versus business development, because changing your the way you approach life is going to ripple and have a positive impact on your business. And that's how we connect those dots. And you mentioned this, and I'll mention it again. As you're speaking, these people are listening, they're taking notes, they're connecting with you, and they're probably going to come back around and talk to Kat again. Guess what starts happening there? That relationship that maybe you wouldn't have had with somebody way over there in Portugal or India or Japan. And now we're bringing the cultures together at the same time. And over a period of time, that tribe starts to narrow down to these are my people here. This is my relationship. They're no longer just connection, because I looked at them eye to eye on my InsteadTalk, and I've had follow-up discussions. So
Yeah, no, that's so true.
pretty excited
And
about these things.
yeah, I know. And one of the things that and I did watch some of the Instead Talks. I went in and watched some past ones, and what I was active in it. I was asking questions, and what I found was the authenticity of the orator.
Good word.
There's such intense authenticity, and some of that I believe also with the orator and with you and your company with BizCat 360 is because you are not receiving monies to do this.
Right.
You can do whatever is authentic to you, and that's
Exactly.
what makes the difference.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
think
being
that's
bought.
good point, Kat, because I think in my experience in the business world, if we were being sponsored by somebody, clearly we would have to run every conversation topic by them
Yeah.
before we said, okay, Kat, you can say that. And suddenly we're becoming bureaucratic, and suddenly it just changes the whole process. And we just won't do that. We're blessed to be able to do it for good versus for profit, without question.
So how can someone who is listening right now and wants to be a part of the Instead Talks and create a conversation, what is their next step? How would you tell them to get started? What do they need to do?
The best thing they can do is kind of what you've done, Kat. You've gone and you've watched some talks. They can sign up for the talks coming up. And the easiest way to do that, if you know Eventbrite, just go to Eventbrite and search Instead Talks 360. You'll see the 4 sessions we have scheduled for 2025. We mentioned Kat and 5 other orators are going to be speaking on March 26th. Now, let me focus on that. These things run from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We don't expect you to come and stay all day long. It's amazing how many people do, because they just get drawn into it and they don't want to leave. The way we operate it, though, if Kat comes on at 9 o'clock, it's a 45-minute session. There's a 15-minute break after each one of them. You can come, you can go, you can stay for all of them, but start with the Instead Talks link. Instead Talks 360, search that on Eventbrite, tells you how to register, and that'll take it from there. You can go to our website, bizcatalyst360.com, and just search for Instead Talks. That'll give you even more information, some of the backstory. But I would always recommend you start by watching them, because Kat, you can try and describe it, I can try to describe it, but you won't see the magic unless you sit through them. And if it's a live one, like you're coming up, Kat, that would just be marvelous. Marvelous. And I should say, when I say live, we're broadcasting. We're recording it, but we're also broadcasting live on YouTube throughout the day.
Yeah, and it is magical. It is. It's real, and that's part of what makes the difference. But again, also you can go to my Dreamvision 7 Radio Network website, Dreaming Healing, and everything that Dennis just said. All the links are there. They're all there. Just click on them, and you can get right there to the Instead Talks, and you can get your free ticket. Let me say that again: free ticket to watch these Instead Talks, because the goal of this is not to make money. The goal of this is to make a difference and to make a tribe. So go, enjoy, have fun. Ask the questions that you want of the orator. Go through the list. See what they're going to be talking about. Pick the ones that you want to listen to, or just turn it on and go about your business, whatever it is you need to do that day at home. And when you hear something that rings your bell, run back over there, watch and ask a question, because deep down inside, you've been listening the whole time. We really can multitask. Dennis, this Instead Talks is just amazing. So mine is, as we were saying, it's going to be on the 26th, and it is at noon Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to be talking about living your dream, dreams for inner guidance and success, because our dreams are the umbilical cord to heaven and our higher guidance. So,
and Chad, let me say, I don't think I've ever seen anyone connect the dots with dreams and living your life as you have. You can speak it from the heart, which makes such a difference.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's hang on that, because it's time for, can you believe this, Dennis? It's time for another commercial, and this show is almost over. Is this going fast or what? And it's because the conversation we're having now is a conversation, and it's really important. And hopefully it's going to touch a lot of tribe members, new tribe members. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Berg. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide. Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow. Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network.
I'm your host, Kat Kanavos, and we are speaking with Dennis Pitocco about the Instead Talks, and which are just amazing. And everything Dennis does with Biz Catalyst 360, the whole 360 Nation, is unbelievable. I don't know how this man has time to do this, and he does it without taking any funds from anywhere. I just, it's like, to me, it's a miracle. I don't know how you do that. And it just really, it blows my mind, Dennis. It really blows my mind. So tell us, where are you going from here? What's next? What's going to happen?
Boy, thanks for asking, because you were part of something we did for the first time 2 years ago. This month, we had our very first ever in-person gathering of people in our community and our tribe, and we did it in Tampa. And up until then, everything we'd done has always been virtual. But after the pandemic, Allie and I took a drive across the USA. We went from Tampa, where we live, all the way to California in the back. And our intention was to meet with as many people as we could, because we felt like people were being isolated, not only because the government said you couldn't travel back then, but it was becoming much easier to communicate on Zoom. So we wanted to kind of break that up. We went back and forth, and we came back, and I said to Allie, I said, I'm going to suggest we do something that we've never been interested in doing, and that is producing an in-person event. And she said, why? And I said, I think if we open the door to people to come and share handshakes and hugs, we can break them out of that isolation a little more. It'll help. And we're always about doing things for good. So we said, let's do it. And less than 9 months after that conversation, we gathered in Tampa. I know you came, Kat, and so many of your friends, and we had our entire tribe. We had 50 people from our tribe, from around the world in the same room for 2 days. It was magical. We finished that 2 years ago. We went on to do many other things like Instead Talks. And only 3 weeks ago, we announced that we're going to do our second and our probably final encounter. It's going to be in February of next year in Tampa, same location. And we're going to, again, bring 50 people in from around the world. We just announced it, and over half the seats are gone already. People say, well, why 50? You can probably do 100. Your community is so large. And we said, nope. Number one, we're not doing it for money. If we lose any money, we're going to cover it. If we make any money, we're going to give it to nonprofits serving the homeless community across Tampa Bay. We're keeping it to 50 as we did last time, Kat, because it was intimate enough that you could, over 2 days, get to know the people around you versus being lost in the crowd. So we're excited about that. Taking a lot more energy, but we're blessed to be able to do it.
Yeah. And Dennis, when I came to that event, I had Temple Hayes, who I knew, and Temple came and stayed with me at that time. I think she was out here in California, and I was back in Florida. She came and stayed with me, but what she did was she brought a new friend to me, Minx. I hadn't met Minx before. So what I did was I basically, as someone who had the extra bedrooms in my house, I opened my house to part of the BizCat tribe and said, come stay with me so that we can get to know each other. And I made a lifelong friend. She was incredible. And we still communicate to this day. So I would suggest to all of you BizCatters out there who are watching this show, and I know you are, I can feel it. If you have that extra room in your house, and maybe someone would say, well, yeah, I'm out here in Montana and I might be able to afford to get a plane ticket to Tampa to do this, but to stay in a hotel, I think if you let Dennis know that you have a room for a tribe member and that you'd love to have them as guests for 2 days, you would make a lifelong friend also. And they would become part of the BizCat family. Just open up your home to them, especially if you're going to this. And we all got together in the car where we got lost the first time. Hey, we got lost together. And we had so much fun. It was like, no, you need to turn left. No, you turn right. We all had our same GPS on. It was giving us different directions, turn right into the lake or turn left over the cliff. So you have to go straight, but you're all together and you're having a great time and you become lifelong friends because you've connected with your tribe.
Well, yeah, no, we can say, Zoom calls are nice like we're doing right now, but I think, Kat, you just can't beat the magic of hugs and handshakes. And even if you already know the person, just you take a step closer to them after you meet them in person. It opens up those relationship corridors that you didn't even know were there. And those are the people that you begin to surround yourself by.
Right.
So it's a process, but everything weaves together so nicely.
And everything, there are so many writers now, which just makes my heart sing. And for such a long time, we judged ourselves as, oh, what, writer? Who am I kidding? I'm no writer. I'm not an author. But guess what? We were, because we had something important to share with the world, something that wasn't just important to us, but was important to other people in the world. And you, Dennis Pitocco, gave us a platform on which to share that information. So those of you watching tonight who are not part of BizCat 360 and would like to be, go to BizCatalyst 360 Nation and go to my website that I gave over and over again. Go to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network and click all of the hot links that will take you to all the BizCatalyst 360 places, pages, sites, and I dare you to become a writer for BizCat. Dennis is so inviting. He will not look at your work and say, what, are you kidding me? And from there, from that beginning, you can then branch out. And with a lot of these events that we're talking about, we who have been there and done that will help you branch out, and we'll tell you how we did it so that you can do it.
A very good point, Kat, and I'm so glad you brought that up. We've been talking about InsteadTalks. I'd like to make a point very clear. Do not feel like you have to be an experienced speaker to do an InsteadTalk. I cannot tell you how many of the 7 dozen or 8 dozen we've got now, some of them have never stood on a stage, never picked up a microphone, but they're comfortable because they know it's not going to be a presentation. It's just going to be a conversation with some good people that are interested. So they break the ice, and we have got three orators now that have come back around, and they're back in line to do another InsteadTalk. It was their first one. They liked it so much. They now know they've got the confidence to do another one. And on the writing side, I'm so glad you brought that up. Unlike other major sites, we are prepared to offer any new writer. New writer means you've never written before, but you've got this desire to do it, and everything doesn't have to be perfect. And maybe you just want to start out with poetry. We'll give you a break. Just reach out to me through the links that Kat has kindly provided, and we will open the door to might become a life-changing experience for you.
And it could be a life-changing experience to someone who reads your work.
Yeah.
You reads your work. You've lifted them up. You have handed them your hand. And that is the power of words, written words. Dennis, I want to thank you so much for being on our show today. Believe it or not, our show has come to an end. This was so fast. I mean, we could basically do this for 2 hours, but thank you so much for coming on to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. And anytime you're getting ready to do something else with BizCat, let me know, because I'd love to have you come on and tell us all about it. We don't want to miss it.
And we look forward to seeing you on March 26th at noon Eastern on our InsteadTalks virtual stage, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I was going to put that into the upcoming events, but I think we got that out there. So yes, I'm going to be talking about dreams. So if you say, I never dream, tune in. I'm going to help you learn to remember your dreams. And also my other upcoming event is the Read, Write, Relax, and Get published its Spirit at Sea Dreamy Writers Conference cruise. It's going so well. We've got so many people signed up. I can't believe it. It's the last one that we did to Baja, Mexico from San Diego was such a great success. We decided to do it again. And we would love to be able to do this cruise for free, but I don't think Holland America will let us. So unfortunately, it's under $1,500 per person if you're inside, on the inside part of the ship, but it's going from Alaska it goes from Seattle to Alaska up to Ketchikan. It's the week of the Aurora Borealis. I've never been to Alaska. I'm having trouble speaking the Alaskan names, but I can do German really well. So anyhow, it is August 24th through the 31st, 2025. We're going all the way up Alaska in through the Inside Passage. We're going to see the Aurora Borealis, and it's going to be for a week. We have 4 instructors, me, my husband, Peter Canova, who did the book Pope Annalisa, and he also did Quantum Spirituality, and 2 instructors from the Southwest Writers Group who taught at the university there. And I'm going to be talking about the right type of publishing for you. You're going to have contact or access to an agent. There's going to be so much information and things to do for you if you are a writer. And if you're just only thinking about becoming a writer, publishing your work or getting your work out, come onto this cruise, because I'm also going to be telling everybody on the cruise how I got onto BizCat 360, because Dennis, your Biz Catalyst 360 helped catapult me to where I am now. And without you, I'm not sure I'd be here. I'm not sure I'd be teaching on this cruise. And that's why I really want to get you as an instructor on the next one. So everybody, thank you so much for being with us this evening. You can go to my website, again, go to my website and find out about the cruise. If you're interested, call Michelle at 800-658-6869 and ask for Kat's Dreamy Cruise. Okay, remember, the early bird gets published. Thank you to my audience for making Dreaming Healing so popular. We are just really growing. And a special thanks to our producers, both Ziggy and Bob, tonight. And thank you again, Dennis Pitocco. So good night, everybody. Remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS, or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.